Hello, my name is George, and I'm interviewing someone who has experience in the film industry. So, can you announce your name, please?
My name is Dalton Snyder-Smith.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty nice name. Okay. So, let's begin with this interview. So, what inspired you to pursue this career?
So my dad was always a screenwriter. So before he even learned how to write stories or papers, I was writing screenplays with my dad growing up. And then I just fell in love with the movie industry. And I came from theater. In high school, I did a lot of theater. So I fell in love with the art of performing and creating a piece that moves people emotionally.
All right. So, my next question. Was it difficult to find the kind of work that you like to do?
It is always difficult to find consistent work within the television industry because it is so competitive, but I had a very lucky story. I had a teacher who I worked for and on her short film, and there was a assistant director who worked in the industry working on that film too, and he saw my work ethic. He was impressed, and I pretty much got my first job right away while I was still in college. But it's always difficult to keep it going. It's just about making those connections, and usually I can, within a month or two, have a job or two.
Oh, wow. Seems you're on the right path, I see. If you wanted to create your own film, how would you start it?
So I have made my own films. I've made several shorts and documentaries. But I think it really starts with a good script, whether you're writing it or whether you're sourcing it, a script that really calls to you personally and a story that you feel like you can tell better than anyone else. A solid script with good characters. And then once you have that script, it's all about the prep work. It's about months of planning and anticipating everything, shot listing, getting your gear together, finding passionate, fun crew members, making sure the props are handled, making sure you have someone supporting you, a producer supporting you at all times. So it's all about the prep work. I like to storyboard, shot list myself, and then shot list with my DP separately, and really be hands-on. And the more you prepare, the better production goes.
So, if someone were to come up with you and tell you that he wants you to work on this little film, would you accept it?
It would definitely depend on the context. If I accepted every offer from every stranger, I would never have time to make my own work. I would not be making a paycheck. I believe in investing in people. So I have worked on several short films for free or for discounted rates. But at the end of the day, it would really depend on the story, the context, and the goals of the film being made.
So you have like any kind of preference, like you can do sci-fi, action, romance. Is there like a limit to what you can do?
I don't believe there's a limit to what anyone can do in terms of genre. I think it's really important to explore different paths. I've directed drama, romance, horror. I do a lot of horror. Documentary, comedy, and camera operating. I've done commercial, documentary, and music videos. So I really do believe it's about pushing yourself and just learning the tips of the genre. When you're doing a horror, learning how horrors are classically lit, learning how comedy music differs from horror music. So it's about investing the research and the time to learn the ins and out of the genre so that you feel like you can do your best job at it.
Okay. And was there any project that you had to take a big creative risk?
There's very many projects. Every project is a very big creative risk. I want to say the one that's on my mind is the short horror I'm in the middle of production for. Basically, it's a monster movie, and it's set outside in the winter. And the biggest risk was whether to actually film it in the winter or whether to film it in March. And we decided for the safety of the actors to film it in March, even though there's going to be leaves and stuff. And we're going to do a lot of post work to kind of make it into a winter story. But for the safety of the actors and the warmth, that's a big risk. And also the monster, we decided to do it all practical makeup. No VFX. So that's a big risk. We need to make sure the prosthetics fit. And so we're hoping that turns out good.
How would you describe your day-to-day work life?
So it depends on the job. when I am freelancing, it depends on the project, but sometimes I'm waking up at like 4 or 5 a.m., going to work for 16 hours and then coming home, especially when I'm doing camera work because I do a lot of freelance camera operating. But on a day-to-day life where I have like a free week, it's about prepping for projects, checking in with editors on past projects, making storyboards, writing, and just sourcing crew. But it depends on the projects. Like at the end of the month, I'm going to be working in the Bahamas on a project. So that's going to be flights and hopefully a little bit of fun, but like 16 hours of work a day.
Okay. And is that kind of work, do you have to pay on your own or does someone else helps you with the finances and stuff?
So when I do travel work, it's up to the production company to handle all my travel, pay for all of that. I will never invest money into working a job that I'm not like a big creative part of. So when I do camera operating, the producers paid for my ticket, paid for my flight, paid for my carry-ons, everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they should. They should. Because if you're giving them all the work and all the time, you can't take a cut out of your paycheck that big, especially when you need to pay rent.
Oh, wow. I did not know that, honestly. And do you plan on switching your career or do you plan to stick to the career that you love?
I plan to grow in the career that I love. I can't imagine myself doing anything else long term. I am getting my master's in filmmaking starting in the fall. I just got accepted 2 days ago. So in that way I will be growing and potentially going into higher education and teaching film on the side. But my freelance work will never end. I will continue making short films and my goal is to make it as a director. So I just plan to keep growing.
Interesting. And do you consider gear as most important in the film industry?
No, I don't think gear is the most important. I think you can make a beautiful story and a beautiful film with minimal gear. Gear does make it easier. I think it's all about building on your craft, right? I can make a film with an iPhone. It's not going to hit visually as much as using a nice camera, lenses, lights. I think gear becomes important as you grow and it can really help elevate it to the next level. But they're tools, right? So like an artist can draw with a pencil or an artist can draw with watercolor paints, you know? Mm-hmm. You could still make beautiful art with a pencil, but it helps to have those colors and those paints. And I see gear as the same way. The most important part is the story and the passion and the execution. However, the gear are the tools that you can use to make it there. So I like gear, but it's not the most important thing.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, okay. And one last final question, because I believe we are way past the 5-minute line. So, if you were to wake up the next day, as a kid, with every memory that you have done, would you do it again, or would you do something differently?
I think I'd do it again. I don't think I'd do much differently. I mean, I believe that our experiences make us who we are. So even the bad experiences, even the pitfalls, even the hardest days on set, they help to make you a more well-rounded and emotionally intelligent person. So I don't think I'd change even the bad days.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Dawson.
Dawson. I really do appreciate this interview. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody.